Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Happy Thursday to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize about yesterday's live stream. Something came up, no emergency, it's just something that I really needed to take care of. However, I will be here live tomorrow on Friday at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, as always. Okay, I may have to make a few adjustments to my live streams, but we'll talk about that on Friday. Okay, here it says 50 things that Americans should be stockpiling for the chaotic year ahead. I have to agree that I foresee a chaotic year ahead, and the reason that I want to put this video out, ladies and gentlemen, is this is a great thought experiment. So take out your notepads and take out your pencils or pens and make some notes, because most of the things on this list are things that we've been talking about for years. But you never know, you might be missing something. So let's go over this list real quick. It says here, getting fully prepared for the collapse of our society is not something that can be done in a few weeks or even a few months. In fact, I don't think that anyone can ever be fully prepared. And I agree with that, ladies and gentlemen. With all of the preps that you see that I have, that I've shown you over the years, even I don't feel like I am fully prepared for a situation that, let's say, is somewhat of a Tiatwaki, right? The end of the world as we know it. Not meaning that we're going to go into Mad Max, but we rely on the systems that are in place right now to provide us with those things that we normally get, that we normally trade our labor for, that if those things become unavailable or unattainable because you don't have enough money to get it, either or, same result, you don't have it, then what are you going to do? So now that these things are available, even though they are getting more expensive as the days go by, maybe you ought to think about stocking up on some of these items. I think that all of the items on here are very good things to stock up on. The first one, conventional generator and a solar generator. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, if you don't have a generator or solar generator, I would start off with a gasoline or fuel powered generator first. Whether it uses gasoline, propane, natural gas, or diesel. Get one of those first before you go ahead and invest on a solar generator. Why? Because with a solar generator, ladies and gentlemen, although I love solar generators, and you all know that I have a backup to a backup to a backup and then some on solar generators, is that they are only good to you really when the sun is out. Let's say that you lose electricity for a very long time and you live in a place like here, like in Alaska, where during the winter months you have 20 hours, 21 hours without any usable sunlight. What are you going to do then? Well, what I did during the last power outage that we had that lasted about a day and a half or so, I used my solar generators for about the first 20 hours or so, and they worked great. And then when I noticed that the power outage was going to last a little longer than that, I went ahead and converted to my house generator, after which I was able to repower my solar generators just using the outlets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so a solar generator and a fuel generator, I think they complement each other very well. Number two, a Berkey water system. Berkey water system is like the Cadillac of filter system, water filtration systems. However, ladies and gentlemen, a mini Sawyer, in my opinion, $22. If you can only afford that, man, it's a lot better than nothing. I think that a mini Sawyer is much better than like a Life Straw. Rainwater collection system, if you do not have a natural supply of water near your home. A large emergency medical kit. Get the best that you can, or the best that you can afford, ladies and gentlemen. Rice, we all know about rice. It pretty much lasts indefinite if you properly store it. At least a good 30 years, if not more, if properly stored in a Mylar bag with oxygen absorber and also in a temperature controlled room. Pasta, same thing. Canned soup. Many people think that canned foods have an expiration date, and they don't. They have a best by date. And many, if not all, are good well past the best by date. Just go to the USDA website and ask them about, or look up canned food expiration date, and they'll tell you all about that. Canned fruit, same thing. Canned chicken or any kind of canned meats. And if you can them yourself, excellent. Let's see, what else do they have? Jars of peanut butter, outstanding for protein and fats. Get as much salt as you can, ladies and gentlemen. Get sugar also, even if you don't eat it. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because sugar, not only does it have a whole bunch of calories, but it would be a very good barter item, in my opinion. Bags of flour, powdered milk, Yeast. Powdered milk, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much lasts indefinitely if you store it properly. Yeast. Remember back in March of 2020 where there was a shortage of yeast? I hope you stocked up since then. And if you haven't, there is yeast on the shelf right now. Lots of extra coffee, even if you don't drink it, I would say. Buckets of long-term storable foods. I would say that if you're just starting out, or that if your pantry is not full, meaning that you don't have about a year's worth of food in your regular pantry, then you should go ahead and do that first. Then you can go ahead and do long-term food storage in 5-gallon buckets with Mylar bags in the form of rice, wheat, sugar, salt, flour, cornmeal, oats, etc. Lentils, all of that stuff. Once you've got those long-term foods put away, then go ahead and transfer over to some long-term food storage that you buy from a third party. There is a place for all types of food in a prepper's pantry, and I think being diversified is a very good idea. Lots of extra vitamins, lighters or matches, candles, flashlights or lanterns. Plenty of wood to burn if you have a wood stove. And even if you don't have a wood stove, maybe have some wood to burn anyways. Maybe not as much as you would need for a wood stove, but you may find yourself in a situation where you need to cook outside with natural fuels like wood. Extra blankets, extra sleeping bags, ammunition, extra fans if you live in a hot climate, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, extra soap and shampoo, extra toothpaste. Ladies and gentlemen, anything that you use on a regular basis, you should be trying to stock up on those things. And that's what he's going over here. These are regular household items that people use on a regular basis. But some of these things we use more than others, and those things that we don't use as often, they kind of escape our mind, right? That's why I think this is a good video to go over these things. Extra razors, bottles of bleach, a battery-powered radio, and if it's a hand-crank radio that has a small flashlight on it, even better. Extra batteries, solar chargers, trash bags, tarps. Tarps is a great thing to have, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't want to go through the expense of getting tarps, you can get Visqueen. You can get like 5 mil or 6 mil Visqueen. They usually come in rolls of like 20 by 100 or 40 by 100. And in my opinion, you get a lot more for your dollar when you do that. And that Visqueen is very, very tough. In my opinion, you can use it just as good as you can use any tarp. The tarps are tougher, but the Visqueen you get a lot more, and it is a pretty tough plastic. A pocket knife or several knives, a hammer or several hammers, same thing with axe, shovel, work gloves, lots of warm socks, seeds for a garden, canning jars, extra supplies for your pets, of course, a substantial emergency supply of cash. We've always talked about that we need to have a little bit of cash at home in case the ATMs and the banks go down. A Bible for every member of your family, either a Bible or the book of your choice, ladies and gentlemen. A bug out bag for every member of your family. In my case, I have like a bug out trailer. All right, and he finishes up by saying preparation is going to look different depending on where you live, of course. For example, if you live in a very hot climate, your preparations will look quite a bit different when compared to someone that lives in a very cold climate. The key is to assess your long-term needs during an extended period of crisis. We will all need food, water, power, and shelter, so make sure you don't neglect any of those 4 major areas. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that I don't think he mentioned here was like a tent. If he did, maybe I missed it. Or maybe I read it off and just don't remember. But a tent, something that you can do inside your home. Let's say if you lose power, and maybe you live in an area where the temperature, the ambient temperature is usually above freezing, but gets pretty chilly. All right, so let's say, for example, that you live in an area where the temperatures never drop below 35 or 40 degrees, right? But that's pretty chilly nonetheless. And you do use something to heat your home. You use some kind of a heater to heat your home. Well, with a tent, ladies and gentlemen, if you do lose power and you don't have to worry about your pipes bursting because it's not going to get below freezing. If you have a tent, you can take a small tent, put it in the middle of your living room, put some blankets over that, and then sleep inside that tent in sleeping bags. And that will help to hold in your body heat in that sleeping bag more efficiently, keeping you more comfortable, all right, for the time that you're going to be without power, without heat. That's just a small tip, but there are many more. Please go ahead and leave your tips in the comment. And if there's something that we ought to be prepping, like antibiotics maybe, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let us know. That way we can learn from each other. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've had a good day today, and we will see you tomorrow during our live stream, 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.